Where to buy sugarcane? You can typically find sugarcane at specialty grocery stores, farmers' markets, or international markets that cater to diverse culinary needs. Additionally, some larger supermarkets with well-stocked produce sections may carry fresh sugarcane, especially in areas with a significant population of people who use it in cooking or juicing. If you're unable to find fresh sugarcane locally, you can also explore online retailers that specialize in exotic or tropical fruits and vegetables. When purchasing sugarcane, look for firm, unblemished stalks with a good weight to them, which indicates freshness. Can dogs eat sugarcane? Honestly, I wouldn't give sugarcane to a dog. I know my pup loves sweet treats, but sugarcane is just too risky. The tough, fibrous outer part can be a real choking hazard. And even if they manage to chew it up, all that sugar can cause some serious tummy trouble. Plus, dogs really shouldn't have a ton of sugar in the first place. I always stick to vet-approved treats or a few pieces of fruit when I'm spoiling my furry friend. What to do with sugarcane? My favorite thing to do with sugarcane is simple. Just chew on it. The sweet juice is such a satisfying treat, and I love the texture, even though it can get a bit fibrous. Sometimes I'll even find vendors that add lime and a bit of kumquat for an extra flavor kick. I've heard of people making their own sugarcane juice at home, which sounds interesting to try. Might need a special juicer for that though. Oh, and I remember seeing a recipe somewhere for grilled sugarcane skewers. Sounded unique and might be worth experimenting with. Is sugarcane a fruit or vegetable? I used to think sugarcane was some sort of weird fruit, but it turns out it's not. Apparently, sugarcane is actually a type of grass. I was surprised when I first learned that. Even though it's super sweet and juicy, it doesn't have seeds or anything that would make it a fruit. It's kind of funny to think that the sugar we use every day comes from a type of grass. What does sugarcane taste like? Sugarcane has a really clean, sweet flavor. It's like a less intense version of the granulated sugar we use all the time, but with a fresh, grassy note to it. If you get it as a juice, it's incredibly refreshing and definitely hits the spot on a hot day. Chewing on the raw stalk is a bit different, still sweet, but there's a slight floral taste, and it gets quite fibrous after a while. I love the experience though, especially with a bit of lime squeezed into the juice. Is sugarcane bamboo? While they look kind of similar, sugarcane and bamboo are actually different plants. They're both tall grasses, but bamboo has those distinctive hollow stems, while sugarcane is solid all the way through. I always think of bamboo as being more wood-like for building things, while sugarcane is all about the sweet, sweet juice inside. How to cook sugarcane? While I usually enjoy sugarcane raw or as a refreshing juice, I know there are interesting ways to cook with it. I've seen recipes for grilling sugarcane, which sounds amazing because caramelizing those sugars must give it an amazing flavor. Apparently, you can also steam it, which brings out its sweetness and makes it a bit softer. I'd love to find a recipe for using it to flavor meat or fish. The idea of those sweet and savory notes together sounds super tempting. Is sugarcane invasive? I've heard that sugarcane can be invasive in some places. It makes sense, it's a hardy plant that grows fast in warm climates. I'm not sure if it's a major problem here in Vietnam, but I do remember seeing huge fields of it when I took a trip down to the Mekong Delta. It's always important to think about how the things we grow might impact the environment, so it's definitely worth looking into if you're thinking about planting sugarcane. Can you swallow sugarcane? Technically, you can swallow the juice from sugarcane, but definitely not the fibrous part. When you chew on it, the goal is to extract all that sweet goodness and then spit out the fiber, kind of like chewing gum, but way tastier. I've heard stories of people accidentally swallowing the fibers and having a rough time. Not recommended. Honestly, I find just chewing on it and enjoying the flavor satisfying enough. How to plant sugarcane cuttings? I haven't planted sugarcane cuttings myself, but I'm definitely intrigued to give it a try. From what I understand, it's pretty straightforward. You need stalks with a few visible nodes, those little bumps on the stem. You can either plant the whole stalk horizontally in a shallow trench or cut it into sections with a couple of nodes each and plant them that way. They love warm weather and plenty of sun, so a raised bed or a big, sunny pot would probably be ideal. I'm imagining harvesting my own sugar cane right in the backyard. How cool would that be? Is sugar cane juice good for pregnancy? Sugar cane juice can be a refreshing drink during pregnancy, but there are a few things to consider before gulping down a glass. It has lots of nutrients that are great for expecting moms, like folic acid and potassium, but it's also really high in natural sugar. I remember reading that can be bad for gestational diabetes. I always check with my doctor before having any when I was pregnant. In moderation, though, I think it can be a healthy treat. Maybe skip the sugary sodas and processed juices and go for a fresh glass of sugarcane juice instead. Sounds pretty good to me. What animals eat sugarcane? I guess sugarcane is pretty tasty because it seems like lots of animals enjoy it. Elephants are apparently big fans. Makes sense that something so tough and fibrous wouldn't bother them. I've heard that monkeys love it too. I can just picture them happily munching away on the sweet stalks. Apparently, some types of rats can be a major problem for sugarcane farmers, and I remember seeing footage of those cute capybaras feasting on it in South America. It definitely seems like a popular treat in the animal world. Can you grow sugarcane indoors? Technically, you can start sugarcane indoors, but it's not ideal for the long term. These plants get huge. I'm talking like 10 feet tall or more, and they need tons of sunlight. I suppose if you have a super sunny room with high ceilings, you might be able to get away with it for a while, but eventually, you'd probably need to transplant it outdoors. I imagine a big greenhouse would be a perfect place to grow sugarcane if you have the space for it. Is sugarcane native to Hawaii? No, sugarcane isn't native to Hawaii. It was actually brought to the island centuries ago by Polynesian voyagers. They cultivated it for food and used it in various traditional practices. However, it wasn't until much later that sugarcane became a major commercial crop in Hawaii and dramatically changed the island's landscape and economy.